Welcome back, folks, to another episode of GotGameTesters, and today's game is a game about your destiny, Stones of Fate. Okay, guys, this is the game Stones of Fate. What you're going to do is you're going to shuffle a large deck of cards, and you're going to only put so many in have so many in the decks, depending on the number of players. Right now, we're going to just play a two-player game. What you're going to do is you're going to lay out 9 cards and give everybody a few seconds to go ahead and look at all the cards. Then you flip them all over, and you have to make sure to flip them correctly, and I'll explain why in just a second. But on your turn, what you're trying to do is, as one of the players, you can do one of 3 things. You can move or place one of these stones in any kind of intersection like so. Okay, this would be retarded because it doesn't do anything, but you're trying to put them in between 2 cards, okay? And you can place 1 stone. You get 2 actions a turn. So one of them could be to place a stone. You can play up to 2, obviously, on your turn because you have 2 actions. The second thing is that you can peek at a card. You can take a look at a card and go, ooh, I wonder what it is. Ooh, the Hierophant, and you put it back down, okay? And you get to look at it. The last thing you can do is you can actually flip a card. Now, flipping cards is very important because you need to make sure that they're all facing the same direction because you flip from left to right, okay? Or right to left or whatever, just as long as it's horizontal and not vertically, because when you flip them vertically, then you're going to have them come out in the wrong direction. What we're looking for is, let's say, a couple of turns have passed and it looks something like, I don't know, this, and then a couple of these here, and one over there, and yes, you can share spaces with players, and you're moving around, okay, whatever. So let's go ahead and flip some cards. So the first one we'll flip is this guy. Well, there's different symbols on each of the cards, and there's a couple things we're going to look at. Why don't we just go ahead and look at one card close up. Okay, so this is one of the cards, for example. Notice how on each of the sides there's this kind of infinity symbol. Up at the top there's a number there, and then it has the name, a cool picture, I mean, artwork fantastic, and some special abilities sometimes down here. Well, the numbers in the corner means how many points. Whoever has the most points is going to win in this game. And what the symbol on the side means is that when it has this little infinity symbol, it means whoever has the most surrounding this card. So in this case, in the 2-player game, only the yellow player has any stones surrounding it. So you notice there's one at the top here, one on the side, that makes a total of 2. Let's say, for example, the blue player had maybe one up here and one over here. That would obviously make it be tying, and then if even the blue player had one more, then it would have, in whatever position, it would win this card. So if you flip this card, if you weren't the one, you can still lose this card even though you flipped it thinking that you would win for whatever reason. Okay, so there's a bunch of other cards, for example, like this one. This says that you must have the symbols at the top. It's worth a lot of points, but you must have 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. If you do not have only 2, and no more, no less than 2 at the top, and no more, no less than 2 at the bottom, then you will not win this card. If you flip the card and nobody qualifies, then it gets discarded. Let's look at another card. This one will give you 2 points, and all it has is the one side. If you flip it, and in this case, these 3 sides mean nothing, so if no one's down here at the bottom with any stones, even if you had just 1 stone down here, then you could still win the card, but that's the only side that counts. Let's look at this card, for example. This one, when you flip it, it doesn't have any symbols on any sides. It's simply, if you read when flipped, place this card in your collection. So you would automatically get 1 point. Regardless, if there was a 3rd player and you're not blue or yellow in this case, you would still get the card. Let's look at this one. This one gives you -1 point. And you can still win this on accident if you weren't paying attention. This is why peeking is so important at cards. You can look at this one, for example. It has all 4 sides. It has a special ability, 3 points. This says an ability win 1. So there's 2 different types of abilities. Like I said, this one says when flipped, for example, and this one says win 1. So there's 2 different moments when these abilities are activated. Next one here, you have to have just 1 and only 1 at the top in order to get this card. Let's see, this one over here. Now, this one has these stop symbols. So let's say that I'm yellow, okay? And I have 1 on the side that actually matters. These 3 say that if you have any stones on the side, on any of these sides, you disqualify yourself for this card. So, for example, if it was like so, although there are 2 yellow stones in this case on the 2 sides, only this one matters, and the yellow disqualifies himself. Even if he had all of his stones over here, totally outweighing the blue guy, you could still lose this card simply because your yellow stone disqualifies you. Last card here, I'll show you, shows this little ability. So if yellow player, for example, had 1 on each of these sides, okay, he could win this card automatically and get 3 points. That's a lot of points. This triangle, however, means that for every stone you have over here, you can get a card. straight from the deck. So that's what you would do. In this case, blue would get 1 card, even though he has really nothing going on with this card, and then the yellow player would get 2. So that's basically what the cards do. Like I said, you're going to keep playing until basically the deck runs out of cards, and whoever has the most points in their collection is the winner. Okay, so this game here, Stones of Fate, is very light and compact. As you can see, it's very small. It's got a few of those stones, and it's I don't even know what those called, counters. I don't know. I remember using it for Pokemon first, I think. But and then you're all, which are the Stones of Fate in this game, and then you also have the cards. Okay, the cards. Let's just go ahead and straight to the report card. Artwork is fantastic. I think A+++++. I think it's enough pluses, but that's how many pluses this deserves. The artwork is fantastic. However, okay, I'm going to take one of those pluses off because this is not completely 100% family friendly. Now, we've all seen in an earlier episode that me and my opinion on nudity, okay, in games or close to it is a no-no. Now, the designer warned me before I played this game. He's like, look, there's going to be some nudity, and basically it's because this game is based on tarot cards, and that's the feel it's trying to go for. I feel like this game is very abstract in that sense that it, you know, the theme is there and it's plastered on and it fits. I really do think it fits. You know, again, because of, you know, my views on this type of artwork, I had to take out probably 10 cards, something like that, that I found to be inappropriate, and, you know, just kind of threw them. I didn't throw them away. I just hid them. Beware, if when you get this game, there might be a few cards that, you know, that might alarm you, okay, so from your kids, that kind of thing. But most of the cards are great. I think it's like I said, super well done in terms of production quality. Okay, you know, this box itself is fine, and the cards are a decent quality. It's fine. The rulebook is very easy to follow, which I really do appreciate. Okay, I've said this many times before. Writing rules is an art form, and these guys, they pulled it off. I don't know how many times that they've tried, but they are on Kickstarter, so for a second time, and so I'm pretty sure they fixed a lot of things from the first one. Stones of Fate, however, let's talk about the mechanics. I really think that this is a kind of a hidden gem. Okay, no pun intended with the stones. But the fact that the game, you know, it's got this, I don't want to call it deduction. It's very calculated, or it could be very random at the same time, depending on who you play with. Because I've played with both. I've had people, you know, pull this game. You know, I pulled the game out for them and said, "Hey, let's try this game out." And they're like, "Well, this is a playtesting game," and I said, "Sure is." And they didn't believe it at first because of the production quality. But then we started playing it, and it really could go both ways. So, not sure if that's the intention. If it's allowed to make it for gamer-friendly people, or if it's supposed to make it for the more filler, lighthearted kind of, you know, style of gamers, but. You could be cold and calculated and sit there and think about stuff for a long time, or you could just try to play the best you can. I've had people literally just flip over cards and just hope that the card is in their favor, that kind of thing. So something I did mention at the end of the round is that, you know, when there's no cards left in the deck, then we just flip over all the 9 cards that are sitting there and then score the points accordingly. For mechanics, I'm definitely going to have to give it an A. Okay. I don't give it an A+ because it could be very random at times, just super lucky. And a lot of people like an 80-20 feel, an 80% skill and a 20% luck. I really feel like, you know, depending on who you play with, it's a 70-30, 70 skill, 30% luck, or it really could just be 50-50 or even worse. Again, depending on who you're playing with. The flow of the game itself moves very quickly, and I really appreciate that. Now, I know it's supposed to be a lighter filler game, but it really is super enjoyable where, you know, we've had people sit down and want to play it 2 or 3 times in a row just because they enjoyed it that much. So, for flow, it's going to get an A+. I mean, this is just a really great game. I'm really happy that they tried to go for round 2 on their Kickstarter, which you should go out and check out, by the way, if you haven't already. Definitely worth your time. I'm sure it's not that much that they're asking for a copy of this game, and they're doing promotions and contests and things like that, so go ahead and check them out. Overall, I know you're probably waiting for an overall. Does it got game? Well, it's pretty simple, pretty easy to say yes. This is definitely got game. It's one of the best games that I've play tested or had the, you know, the privilege to play test. So go ahead and check out check out GotGameTesters. Sure, go do that too. But go ahead and check out Stones of Fate and they've got, I believe, a Facebook and a website and a Kickstarter. Go and check them out. This is definitely one to look forward to. Go help out this game. It's definitely going to bring out, I think, if it does, you know, get into enough hands, it'll definitely bring out a new genre of this kind of hidden, almost deduction type game. With, you know, with the placement, and I like the card layout with the stones and things like that too. So it's going to be, I don't know what to call it, but it's going to be a new genre, I think. Thank you for watching another episode of Got Game Testers. We've really had a pleasure doing these videos for you. Unfortunately, as if you haven't already heard, we are closing down, and only for the foreseeable future, simply because I have to go and do some internships. So for the rest of the year, I'll be doing multiple internships, which I'm really blessed to get. This is the life of a college student. We will see you next time, folks, on another episode of Got Game Testers.